Hi, I'm Larry. I'm with tech support here at Cook Air, and I want to take a few minutes to show you how to update the software on the Infinity and Evolution Type-C wall control. This is something that you can do from the counter or your desk. Don't need to hook up to a system and don't need Wi-Fi. We'll show you how to do it. Here's a few things that you will need. You'll need an adapter. It's a USB socket to a USB Type-C connection. This will connect a thumb drive, which you'll also need. You need a thumb drive between 6 and 32 gig. If it's bigger than 32, the software won't load to it properly, and you'll get a fault when you try to do that. These two things, and then we need to power up our wall control. That can be done with just a 24-volt power supply, either something like this, or if you need to pull a transformer off the shelf, wire it up. Just make sure you wire that primary side of that transformer up for a 110 volt connection. That way you can hook it up to a wire and plug it up to a wall. So whatever you need to use. Now the first thing you have to do is make sure you have the software version that you are going to load to the wall control loaded onto the thumb drive. There's another video that I've done that's attached in the email that you have that shows you how to go through the process of getting on the partners, finding that software, and getting it dumped onto the thumb drive. So after you've done that, the next step is going to be to power up the wall control and get software downloaded to it. The first thing we'll do is grab our sub base for the wall control, and we're going to hook the two wires from our 24 volt power supply up to the C and D terminals on the sub base. When you run the wires through the back, you'll run them through this little square hole, not the oblong hole here. That is for the capacitors on the back of the wall control to go through. So you don't run your wire through there, you run it through the little square hole, like so. To connect the wires, these are just push down tabs. So it doesn't really matter which wire goes where for what we're doing here. I just have one of my wire leads tagged as red. I will put that in the D connection. Hold the tab down, press the wire in, make sure it's in there, and just get a little gentle tug to make sure it's secure. And we'll do the same thing for the wire in the C connection. All right, and feed those wires back through. Now my sub base is connected. You'll see the sub base has two hooks that are wider apart and then two locking tabs on the top that are closer together. The two wide hooks are the bottom. This is the top. The back of our wall control has the wider slots on the bottom and then the closer slots on the top for the locking tabs. To put the wall control on the base, you connect your hooks into the bottom. You'll hear a little click, and then you just gently roll it up and it'll snap into place. Now the wall control is connected to the sub base. We'll sit it down and we will power it up. As we power it up, you can see it's going to start loading up. Now the first thing it's going to do, it's going to look for equipment. It thinks you're installing it on a system. So that'll take just a couple of seconds or about a minute or so as it tries to find equipment. Okay, it didn't find any equipment. Obviously, we don't have anything hooked up. So you see an option here that says enter demo mode. We're going to select that. And that'll make this thermostat power up. That way you can use it to kind of show people how it works. For our case, we're going to use that mode, the demo mode, to upload our software, update our software. Touch anywhere on the screen once it wakes up. Okay, I want to press the menu button. And I want to press the down arrow button until I see the ball cap, there's a service cap. I'll press that, and I see the option that says software update. That's what we want to do. We want to update software. We're not going to use, we're not worried about the end user license agreement. We want to update the software using a USB Type-C. You can see an option grayed out up there for using Wi-Fi. We're not connected to the Wi-Fi, so we don't have to worry about that. It won't even allow us to do it. The only piece of equipment is a system control, so that's what we're going to select. Now it's going to tell us to insert our USB device. we'll take our thumb drive, put it in the adapter, plug the adapter into the little slot on the side of the wall control. Probably should have chosen a white wall control, it'd be easier to see. Once I plug that in, it's going to see it, and it's going to say this wall control has version 1.50. In this case, we are going up to 1.59. That's the one that's available. Do I want to continue? Yes. Now, it's going to go through an update process. That's going to take a little bit of time, about 5 to 6 minutes. You'll see it want to power cycle a couple of times, and then it's going to go back to the start menu. So we'll let this thing do its thing while we go off and do some other work, maybe take care of some customers, and then we'll check back on it in just a minute. Okay, so we finished updating. It went through a few things, and you'll see this screen here where it says successfully updated. Press done, and now it's going to say wait for the system control to restart. It will turn off, come back on, reboot a couple of times, and then after a few minutes you'll end up back at the home screen. So we'll let it go through this process here, let it do its booting and rebooting, and then we'll go from there. Oop, my recording started already. Okay, so it went through its process and it rebooted and went right to the demo mode because that's what we had set up before. Now we can go ahead and we can disconnect our thumb drive, put it to the side, and I always like to double check just to make sure that what I uploaded to this thing did in fact save. So again, we'll touch the screen anywhere, select our menu, the down arrow, we'll select the hat, and then this time instead of going to software update, I'm going to go to model serial numbers. Model serial number and then system control, and I can see my model serial number there, and I can see my software version. The last few digits are 01.59. That tells me that the software update did take. So we are done. Set that to the side, and I will power it down and take the wall control off and box it and the sub base back up because we want to put this back on the shelf to be available to our customers. So we'll wrap everything back up. One thing that you may have noticed, there's a protective cover, protective piece of plastic over the screen on the wall control. You don't have to remove that. You want to leave that on. That way it maintains its package integrity. Obviously it works. You can touch the screen through that protective plastic and it still responds. So I put the wall control and sub base back in the box, close the box up. Now on the end of the box it had its original software version. We want to do a few more things, a couple more things here. I want to mark on the box that version is now 1.59 or whatever software version you're updating it to, and I want to write a date on that so that we can keep track of when that was done. You want to write it where it can be read, which is a hard thing for me. So you can see we have put those notes on the box. Now we want to do one more thing. We had to cut the tape or the seal on this box to get access to it. We just want to put something on here to let our customers know that that was done on purpose. They're not getting a used wall control. We don't sell used parts. So whatever your branch decides to do as far as sealing it back up, whether it's we're just using these okay to ship stickers, but whatever your branch is using, I'll put that where the original seal was and make sure it's on there good. This wall control is updated, ready to go back on the shelf. So that's all there is to it. The whole process, it was running in the background and we paused the video for the sake of time, maybe 20 minutes or so. And it can be doing its thing, and even if you get busy and don't get back to it until later, it's not going to move to the next step until you press the button tell it to. So if you have any questions or any problems with it, give us a call on tech support. We'll be glad to help you out. And on behalf of us in tech support and our customers, thank you for taking the time to update these wall controls so that they'll work with the new 454B systems, or whatever reason we're updating them whenever you're watching this. Thanks for the work you do, and again, let us know if we can help. See ya.